Hey there, it's Keisha Shields, your leadership consultant, coach, and strategist for women who are ascending into leadership, who want to awaken their voices and turn the pieces of their life story into a legacy building, money making leadership asset. I wanted to talk about just that very thing, your story. Oh my gosh, there's so much that can be said about the importance and the significance of your story, especially if you're interested in going into the marketplace. Keeping in mind that this could mean the job market, it could mean the business marketplace, or it could mean the leadership marketplace. It's so important for you to know that everything that you have been through has been for a purpose. We don't always understand that purpose, right? And we don't even sometimes understand whether or not it's worthy of being told, being shared. And that's the hard part, is a lot of women leaders struggle with, well, what part of my story do I tell? What part of my story do people want to hear? What part of my story is going to help me attract opportunities? What part of my story is going to make me not seem like a crazy, crazy woman? It happens so many times. I know that was, for me, my number one struggle. I talked about, if you've seen me talk about awakening your voice, that one of the most significant reasons that women have to awaken their voices is because of their story. A lot of the women that I speak with have stories that are stigmatized, or there's a stereotype, or it's just so vulnerable. Maybe they have not fully healed from it. So many reasons that can keep us from exploring that and making it a part of our mission, speaking on that thing. You must identify, how do I take that most vulnerable, sacred part of me and make it into a power source? Make it into something that allows me to speak to other men or women or children, whomever needs to hear this experience that you've been through. How do I make it a power source so that people understand that I get them? I know what it's like to be them. I know what it's like to have experienced that tragedy or that disruption or whatever it is. You have so many experiences that make up your story. There are so many stories within your experiences. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't share the ones that actually are relevant to who you are at your core, you will find that you are starting to get silenced. You're starting to kind of fall behind the scenes because you are speaking up maybe, but are you really saying what you know in your heart of hearts you want to say? It's fear, the fear of people negatively judging or misjudging you based on what they hear. Is that fear grounding you from speaking up, from sharing your story? I talk about sometimes the experience I had with one of my coaching clients, who's an executive client of mine. And her story is that although she is a C-suite member of a corporation, she used to be a sex worker. Something that she doesn't share for various reasons. But she knows that that experience is holding her back. Not expressing her truth about that experience is holding her back. How can she talk about something so vulnerable and so sacred and still keep her credibility, her position, her influence? It can be very, very tough. And what I want to tell you is, just like I told her, sometimes sharing your story is not sharing your story. Let me say that again. Sometimes sharing your story is not sharing your story. You don't always have to publicly express your story. But if you want to make impact, you need to talk about the impact that this experience has had on your life, how you've struggled with it, how it held you back, how you had this awakening, this moment of awakening where you realized the connection between this experience and where you need to go. It's important for me. I teach the importance of feeling safe and feeling that what you have to say is sacred. That's important to me, that you're able to step up and speak up and still feel like you're holding what's most sacred to you sacred, and that's okay. But you have to learn how to then express that story in a way that keeps you safe, but that also awakens that giant voice within you that's speaking up so that people know what to associate you with. They know that you've been there, they know that you know what you're talking about, and they want to know, how did you overcome it? They want to know, what are the challenges you had? How do I avoid this pitfall? You must know that there is strength in telling your story. And there's strength also in telling the experience of your story without telling the hurtful part of your story. It's okay to need to heal from that place first. That's why I truly recommend coaching. I truly recommend consulting. I truly recommend therapy, whatever you need to start healing from that experience. Because remember, your voice is your very own intuitively censored experiences that are ready to be awakened. They're ready to be spoken, and you must share. It is your time. You've been through these things, and it's time that you speak up, because I guarantee you there is a community of people out there who are going through it, trying to understand it, and trying to feel like, oh my gosh, can I still have success? Can I still build my platform? Can I still do all these things I want to do if people know these things about me? Identify how to put the pieces of your life story together in a way that makes dollars and that makes sense. I'm rooting for you. My mission is to help, thousands of women to express their stories in a way that builds legacy and that becomes an asset. Speak up. It's time. Bye.